Well, guys, today is just information day. I'm pretty sure we got our Bungie Vidoc first off, and then now we actually have some Wonderlands information going over spells. If you don't know, IGN's first this month is actually Wonderlands, so they're going to be putting out a lot of Wonderlands content that I'm also going to be covering on this channel. I will also link all of their original sources in the description below if you guys would like to go take a look for yourself. But if you guys would like to listen and hear my opinions on everything, be sure to stick around because we're going to be going over everything. Now, like I said, this one is about spells, and the title of this article is Tiny Tina's Wonderlands: How Spells Matter as Much as the Guns. IGN first. So starting off, all of this writing is pretty much just talking about the game, but we actually do have some screenshots right here, some new screenshots casting spells. Obviously, this is some meteorite spell that's going down on a shark, which is really cool. This is the spell that looks like the one from Bounty of Blood, the DLC from Borderlands 3, where you can like punch the little plant thing and it would shoot out all the little green things. I really like this. It's really cool. It's probably gonna be like an ad clear spell. Then we have a shock or zap type spell, which looks really cool. And then I'm pretty sure this one is just like a different angle, but it's coming down and it has a bunch of little, symbols. Then we have the hydras that the Graveborn can summon, then another angle for them. They'll probably just be little companions that can shoot. I don't know if they move or not. They probably won't be able to move. And then we have a earthquake type thing. They're basically like shattering the ground with incendiary damage. It's like, hurting from the bottom, which is really cool. Then we have the gigantic aerial spell. It looks like that it's connecting to the wyverns or dragons, but it's actually the gun doing it. So I don't really know what the spell is doing unless it's like a healing spell or it's about to like drop down like a nova or something. There's also something on the ground. It has like a little warp, so maybe it's slowing the enemies down, which would be pretty cool. It might just be like a Tom warp slow thing. But that is all the new pictures. Now, if we actually start getting down into the actual writing, but starting off with the first paragraph, we have Ashley Lyons saying Wonderlands lead effects artist said guns are the spine and spirit of Borderlands, but the addition of magic is the go-to combat in the gameplay loop of Wonderlands. The spells take the grenade slot you might be used to, but in my opinion, from playing through a level, the spells are just way more fun to use. Not to disparage the fine folks in charge of making grenades, they do important work that has been a hallmark of the series, but the spells are on a whole different level. Okay, so this paragraph obviously is just lead, artists talking about how spells are cooler than grenades in their own opinion. Honestly, I probably also think they're going to be cooler than grenades. Grenades are really cool, and all the people that did do work on them have made some insane and crazy cool grenades. But spells, I mean, come on, they're spells. You're going to have infinite spells that are going to cool down. I'm just so excited for it. But now we have the magic makers. Much like Borderlands guns, magic in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands comes from different manufacturers, each with its own focus. Conjurer are the makers of the simple cast spells, while Arcane makes channel cast magic. In other words, you hold down the trigger and magic just sprays everywhere. Wired Weaver makes repeating cast magic, and Miraculum specializes in self-cast magic. One example Alliance showed off was a spell that surrounds the player with a cryo bubble of protection, shielding the player from harm. So we actually have a look at all the manufacturers right here that are going to be making spells, which is really cool. It says Conjura or simple cast spells, so I'd imagine they're probably just like average short cooldown spells to do a little bit of work. Then the Arcane makes channel cast magic, so you hold down the spell button and you're going to be able to do a bunch of stuff. It literally says spray magic everywhere. Then the wired or weird weaver, however you pronounce that, has repeating cast magic, so that's probably gonna be like your zap spell where you can just kind of keep zapping over and over again, which is really cool. They're gonna have like a stack to it, but I'm sure it also have a cooldown once you use all the stacks. And then Miraculum is going to cast self magic, so probably like it said, the cryo bubble for protection, something like armor, maybe like AoE like burn thing if you close people, like a thorn type thing could be really cool. So that is your 4 manufacturers that are making spells, and that is what we're gonna have. I can't wait to see all the crazy legendary spells that we have. But in the next paragraph, we have, in addition to the different manufacturers and their strengths, Wonderland's magic system also has a lovely variety of spell payloads to bring down upon your many foes, including hawks, fireballs, ice spikes, hydra, meteors, protection circles, and my personal favorite, ground fissures. The ground fissures have an especially satisfying effect that tear through the terrain towards your target. Lions called them mini skills, referring to Borderlands' skill system. However, they're much faster to charge and can be changed out in the same way you trade out any other weapon in the Borderlands universe. Think Mordecai's Bloodwing, but faster, with more possible variety, and highly boostable with stacking modifiers from your other items and attacks. So right there, again, it's talking about a bunch of the spells that we're going to have: hawks, fireballs, ice spikes, hydras, meteors, protection circles, ground fissures. They all sound really cool. Like the article says, ground fissures seem to just be insanely cool. You just destroy the terrain to hurt an enemy, and they are being called mini skills is what it says as well. They are pretty much just a skill with a very short cooldown. Obviously, we were talking about the gameplay loop earlier. It's going to be really fast. And I'd imagine you're probably going to be able to make the cooldown even faster, especially if you play something like Spell Shot. It's going to specialize in spells, obviously. I think this is going to be really, really cool. Now we have, while there isn't a strict spellcasting class in Wonderlands, Lions said in theory, with the right combination of weapons, spells, and other modifiers, you could build a god tier spellcaster. While such a build is purely theoretical at this point, there's little doubt if it's possible that the Borderlands community will have it figured out in no time flat. Creative director Matt Cox calls the RNG base spell modifier system a min-maxer's dream. Alright, so that's a really exciting sentence right there. So it actually says that there is no strict spellcasting class. So Spell Shot is not the spellcasting class. I mean, it obviously probably is going to be, since it can cast 2 spells instead of just 1 spell. But it seems that every character can have like a really OP spell build. And it also says the Borderlands community will figure it out in no time flat. So thank you guys for the shout out. Yes, but very, very excited. I'm super excited for spells. And it says that the RNG base spell modifier system is a min-maxer's dream. So obviously, if you don't know what like min-maxing is, it's basically just grinding your teeth off to get literally the perfect stat, to fit your perfect build. And if it's gonna be a min-maxer's dream, I'm just super excited for that. Like, I cannot wait to start putting builds together for you guys. But now we have gathering the magic. One of the details that makes me feel so special in the world of Wonderlands is its visual identity. In addition to building the spells and their effects, the team put together a visual style guide to give them an all sense of continuity while allowing each spell to have its own distinct style. In addition to the different kinds of spells and their different manufacturers, spells have their own effects. Shockus, which is an electric effect, Hold, which shoots frost lightning, as well as fire, poison, and dark magic types. So again, every spell has their own element, essentially. All the normal ones, fire, poison, dark, shock, cold, everything we kind of already know, but they're going to be distinct in their own way, which is really cool. But then we have, each effect has its own sigil, which you see in the hand of your character when the spell is cast. They're highly stylized effects the artist created with spells from the ground up, but all follow the same basic rules laid out in the style guide. It's difficult to describe without seeing them in action, but the arcane runes and other effects in the hand of the caster are like a shorthand for the type of spell being cast. For example, a fissure spell I was shown looks like some sort of Lovecrafting hieroglyphic, a system of writing from a culture long forgotten, yet it made perfect sense when seen. A lot of care went to the magic system, and the sigil system ties it all together. So really cool. Obviously, not only the spells just going to be insane with doing damage, just the way they look, even when you cast them, they put a lot of effort into making them look. So you're really going to be immersed into the actual spell casting fantasy, which I think is really cool. And that is what they're talking about all right here. So again, you have your manufacturers, you have all your elements. They're going to look really cool, both casting and when they're actually out after being casted. Super exciting. But then we get down to the last paragraph. This is of course the first game in the Borderlands series to incorporate magic, and from what I've seen and experienced, I'm a fan. The spells are often an excellent addition to the Borderlands gameplay loop, both in terms of satisfying way to mete out damage, as well as something visually distinct that also fits seamlessly into the world of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. So again, like I just said, we now know a lot of information about the manufacturers, the types they are, the elements they are, how they're going to look. Spells are pretty much mini action skills. Again, like I said in the post, you have a pretty short cooldown. It is unlimited. It's not like grenades, because grenades you have to have, actual grenades in your inventory. These are just a cooldown based thing, which you're obviously going to be able to craft insane builds with. As I said, there's not one specific spell character. Each character can have a crazy spell casting build, and definitely stick around on this channel if you want to see some of those. But that's going to do all for this video. If you guys did enjoy or found it informative, please be sure to do all the normal YouTube stuff. It really helps me out and our community grow by getting these videos out there for everyone to see. I truly appreciate it. But thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.